It started as a whisper among long-time fans. Brandi Passante, one half of the sharp-witted duo at the heart of Storage Wars, had vanished from Damon John's A&E auction block, and nobody seemed to know quite why. Viewers who'd tuned in since 2010 remembered Brandi's razor dry banter with partner Jarrod Schulz as they pried open lockers filled with anything from dusty vinyl records to vintage Pyrex. By season 12, Brandi's name had been all but erased from cast listings. While rumors swirled online, did she quit in a fury? Was she sidelined by contract disputes? Had she walked away to chase a more private life? In truth, Brandi's exit and evolution have been far more complex and far more intentional than simple backstage drama. To understand what really happened, we need to rewind to the summer of 2018, when Storage Wars was wrangling with shifting ratings and cast turnovers. After 8 solid seasons of Brandi's no-nonsense deals and off-the-cuff market assessments, production began experimenting with celebrity guest bidders and spin-off locales. Jarrod and Brandi reluctantly agreed to a reduced shooting schedule, hoping to balance on-camera work with their burgeoning off-screen venture, Own It Auctions, a high-end liquidation company co-founded with fellow Storage Wars alum Jarrod Schulz. They reasoned that a sleeker production calendar would allow them to scale their auction business while still honoring their A&E commitments. Behind the scenes, however, complications arose. A&E proposed a new contract for season 12 that trimmed bracketing time and slated Brandi only for special showcase episodes, outsourcing regular locker hunts to rotating cast members. Jarrod, ever protective of their partnership, pushed back, demanding equal airtime for Brandi and insisting on final approval of show edits. Negotiations dragged on for months, eroding goodwill on both sides. Production executives, facing a relentless chase for fresh storylines, quietly moved forward with a younger ensemble, filming Jarrod solo on some assignments and trialing new female bidders who could replicate Brandi's tough negotiation style without having to share the spotlight. Meanwhile, Brandi and Jarrod focused on Own It Auctions, converting a sprawling warehouse in Ontario, California, into a sleek showroom that could host live and online events. They invested in professional staging, lighting rigs, and digital bidding software, determined to create an Antique meets Shark Tank experience that blended treasure hunting with elevated sales presentations. Brandi, who had studied art history in college and possessed an uncanny eye for mid-century modern furniture, began curating themed events. Retro Rewind, sale showcasing original Eames chairs, and a Pyrex Paradise pop-up highlighting multicolored mixing bowls. At the same time, Jarrod used his on-camera notoriety to secure celebrity consignments, attracting stately estates and boutique collectors alike. By early 2019, Own It Auctions was booming, and Brandi discovered a passion for business development that rivaled her enjoyment of spontaneous locker bids. She started hosting webinars on storage unit valuation, lectured at appraisal conferences, and even consulted for other auction houses seeking to optimize logistics and marketing. Industry insiders noted that Brandi's pivot from reality star to seasoned auctioneer was seamless. Her on-screen credibility translated into off-screen authority. As revenue streams from digital bids outpaced A&E paycheck stubs, Brandi and Jarrod set their sights on franchising their model to other cities, negotiating trademark protections and crafting operations manuals that could be licensed to entrepreneurs nationwide. All the while, Storage Wars remained in flux. By mid-2019, production had decamped to new venues, from beachside conventions in Texas to industrial warehouses in Pennsylvania, rotating through fresh faces like auctioneer Ken Naomi's Advantage, Potts, and bidder Mary Padian. Viewership stabilized but never recaptured the explosive peaks of the early seasons. When season 13 rolled around, Brandi's contract was officially unrenewed. Though producers framed her absence as a mutual, creative hiatus, fans took to social media to protest. Hashtags like "Puck Bring Back Brandi" trended on Twitter, and Change.org petitions cropped up demanding A&E reinstate the duo's classic dynamic. Yet Brandi herself remained remarkably unfazed by the noise. In interviews, she spoke candidly about gratitude for Storage Wars' jump starting her career while emphasizing that Own It Auctions represented the next logical chapter. "I learned how to watch, listen, and strike when the iron is hot. Principles I use every day at our warehouse," she told an auction trade magazine. Her tone was neither defensive nor regretful. Rather, she exuded a quietly confident optimism that resonated with fans who had followed her journey since day one. Rather than cling to fading reality TV fame, Brandi chose to capitalize on her skills and passions in a domain she could shape. By 2021, Brandi and Jarrod had sold more than 100 Own It units online, with average final bid prices soaring into five-figure territory. They expanded into estate liquidations, partnering with legal firms to handle high-value contents from presidential library closures to celebrity estate sales. Brandi's knack for storytelling, turning chipped pottery into narrative hooks and obsolete furniture into historic showpieces, became her trademark pitch. She even guest lectured at UCLA's Anderson School of Management on Bridging Reality TV and Real Revenue, a course that sold out within days. So did Brandi vanish because of acrimony with A&E? Or did she simply outgrow the limited confines of a reality series? The answer lies somewhere in between. A contractual deadlock with producers sparked her initial departure, but it was her entrepreneurial drive that solidified the exit. Storage Wars had given Brandi a launching pad. Own It auctions became her runway. In stepping away from the show's narrow format, she effectively reclaimed the narrative, opting for a sustainable business model over episodic stardom. Today, Brandi Passante can be found not on primetime cable, but at the intersection of technology and tradition, blending live auctions with interactive live streams that reach tens of thousands of bidders worldwide. Her Instagram feed features behind-the-scenes glimpses of warehouse styling, while her LinkedIn profile boasts partnerships with Fortune 500 clients seeking bespoke liquidation services. The locker doors may have slammed on her Storage Wars chapter, but the gavel has risen on a thriving second act, one that she authored on her own terms. After exiting Storage Wars, Brandi watched from the sidelines as production rolled out its new ensemble. Episodes in early season 13 opened with Jarrod alone in the lot, scanning lockers with a wry grin, but lacking the dynamic spark that audiences had come to expect. Producers leaned into fresh faces, rookie bidders with big personalities but little real experience, hoping to replicate Brandi's unapologetic accuracy without her seasoned market intuition. Yet with each solo win, Jarrod seemed to search those empty spaces for her signature one-liners or that knowing eye roll when a rival dramatically overpaid. Meanwhile, fan outrage simmered just below the surface. Bring Back Brandi threads racked up thousands of posts, with loyal viewers dissecting reruns to spotlight moments that felt hollow without her presence. Reddit forums lit up with timestamp comparisons, showing how bids that netted modest gains in earlier seasons now ballooned into needless gambles because no one was there to call out overpriced junk. Petition creators noted a 35,000 signature milestone within days, flooding A&E's comment inbox with impassioned pleas and pleas for at least a cameo reunion. Public relations teams had no choice but to craft measured statements about creative vision, even as internal focus. Group data showed dipping approval ratings whenever Brandi's absence was most keenly felt. Behind closed doors, Brandi and Jarrod maintained a cordial relationship with A&E executives, attending pre-season mixers and providing input on storytelling angles. Production insiders recall one tense meeting in Los Angeles where Brandi politely challenged a proposed episode arc that would treat Own It auctions as a novelty side project rather than a legitimate business. She pointed out that her new venture generated higher engagement metrics than Storage Wars itself, underscoring a shift in where her true audience loyalty now resided. Though executives nodded appreciatively, the meeting concluded with no concrete plan to reintegrate her role, reinforcing that the network's priorities had fundamentally changed. Contract negotiations continued in parallel with company growth. Brandi pressed for a hybrid deal, occasional guest robot slots on Storage Wars paired with a designated industry insider segment to air alongside her own at auctions broadcasts. She even proposed a revenue share model for crossover episodes, believing she could draw viewers back to the main series by bridging both worlds. But A&E's legal team balked at the complexity, citing concerns over brand overlap and sponsor conflicts. The stalled proposal left both sides frustrated. Brandi felt pigeonholed, and the network worried about diluting its core format with too many cross-promotions. By mid-2020, the pandemic forced a temporary halt to on-location shoots, and Storage Wars pivoted to remote formats. Virtual locker tours streamed from empty lots, intercut with cast member highlights. Jarrod invited past partners, including Darrell Sheets and Emily Wares, to co-host these digital segments, but Brandi remained conspicuously absent. Instead, she doubled down on her own live stream auctions, hosting interactive bidding events that blended storage unit finds with curated estate pieces. Her streams attracted over 50,000 concurrent viewers, dwarfing the series' live view counts, and began to generate six-figure revenues per event. While Storage Wars scrambled to bolster its ratings, Brandi quietly became a dominant force in the online auction space. Brandi's brand momentum accelerated. She enlisted a small in-house team to scale content, videographers who filmed warehouse tours, social media strategists who teased upcoming auction lots, and a community manager who fielded questions about unit values and consignment tips. Her hands-on approach cultivated an engaged subscriber base, many of whom fell asleep to her late-night Q&A sessions on valuation strategies. Sponsors took notice: cleaning supply companies, antique storage providers, and auction software startups lined up for partnerships, offering product placements and affiliate commissions. Brandi's new ecosystem thrived in the digital domain, reinforcing the choice she had made to step away from episodic television. Occasional crossover moments did occur. In a surprise drop-in at a virtual fan convention, Brandi and Jarrod joined Jarrod's solo broadcast to riff about old memories, tease behind-the-scenes bloopers, and share a joint roadmap for future own-at-auctions pop-ups. Fans lauded the reunion, tweeting that their chemistry remained undiminished. Yet A&E declined to license footage for prime-time broadcasts, limiting their cameo to paid ad slots and promotional interviews. For Brandi, the half-measure underscored how her relationship with the network had irrevocably shifted from equal partnership to selective collaboration. Today, Storage Wars continues with its evolving cast. Jarrod's evaluations, even with occasional guest experts, carry a tinge of what Brandi once provided effortlessly, a combination of artful skepticism and legal savvy about auction regulations. Driven analytics reveal that episodes featuring Brandi's merchandise appearances, or viral clips of her on-camera calls, see spikes in streaming and replay requests. The network's content strategy teams monitor those metrics closely, debating whether an official, legacy, wall-to-wall marathon might rekindle interest in the brand's origins. As we prepare to explore Section 3, we'll unpack how Brandi's strategic exit reshaped her personal life, her relationship with Jarrod, her role as co-founder, and the blueprint she crafted for monetizing reality TV influence beyond a single program. As the dust settled on Brandi's departure from Storage Wars, the spotlight shifted from cable screens to the showroom floor of Own It auctions, where she and Jarrod reinvented not just their careers, but their partnership. In private, the couple navigated a complex transition from on-camera duo to co-CEOs, balancing the thrill of live bidding with the quiet demands of strategic planning. Their early days in the warehouse had felt like an extended road trip, adrenaline highs, when a unit yielded a rare find, ladder over vintage diner ashtrays repurposed as salt shakers, and impromptu brainstorming sessions scribbled on packing boxes. Yet beneath that camaraderie, Brandi and Jarrod faced fundamental questions. How would they divide leadership roles? Could they preserve their creative spark while running a scalable enterprise? They found answers by leaning into their complementary strengths. Ever the extrovert, took charge of operations and logistics, negotiating storage lot partnerships and overseeing the build-out of secure, climate-controlled zones for high-end merchandise. Brandi, with her keen aesthetic sense and methodical research habits, became the public face of curation and marketing. She devised themed auction cycles, mod revival, culinary classics, pop culture picks, each with bespoke branding, HTML-rich mailers, and social media countdowns. Their synergy proved magnetic when Jarrod teased upcoming consignments on TikTok. Brandi polished the on-screen reveal, crafting narratives that wove together provenance, pop culture lore, and investment potential. Behind the scenes, however, the demands of entrepreneurship tested their personal bond. Early mornings bled into late nights as they tried supply chain snags, missing shipping containers, last-minute eBay system glitches, or sudden spikes in shipping costs. They discovered that negotiating with storage lot owners required a diplomat's finesse. Some proprietors chafed at revenue share proposals, while others insisted on rigid scheduling windows that clashed with optimal auction times. Meanwhile, client expectations soared. Celebrity estates demanded white glove service, and high-net-worth consignors pressed for bespoke valuation reports, legal assurances, and real-time bidding analytics. To keep pace, the couple hired a small leadership team: CFO to manage cash flow, a tech director to refine livestream interfaces, and a client relations manager to provide 24/7 support for VIP bidders. In their newly formalized roles, Jarrod and Brandi faced pivotal decisions about growth. Would they franchise globally or deepen roots in Southern California? Should they diversify into related verticals, vintage car auctions, art fair pop-ups, or even virtual reality storage tours? The duo convened weekly strategy huddles in a sunlit office overlooking the warehouse floor, armed with dashboards tracking website traffic, conversion rates, and average bid per lot. It was here that Brandi first proposed an auction academy, an online education platform offering tiered courses on valuation, negotiation tactics, and resale strategies. Jarrod countered with a vision for geo-targeted micro-hubs, satellite pop-up warehouses in Austin, Atlanta, and Portland, each staffed by local experts who could tap into regional collector communities. They compromised to launch a pilot auction academy in Q3, then test micro-hubs in 2 markets by year's end. Their willingness to refine together extended into their personal life. When Brandi felt overwhelmed by content deadlines, filming product showcases, writing blog posts, hosting Q&A webinars, Jarrod stepped in to reorganize the schedule, carving out unplugged evenings for family dinners and weekend hikes. They installed a rule: no work calls on Sundays, no livestream practice runs during date night. In turn, Brandi helped Jarrod maintain perspective when business negotiations grew tense, reminding him of their why. The joy of discovering hidden treasures and the satisfaction of empowering consignors to monetize items gathering dust. By codifying boundaries and supporting each other's strengths, they preserved both their marriage and the creative spark that had first ignited on the Storage Wars lot. As the company matured, Brandi's role evolved beyond curation. She became an ambassador for community enrichment, partnering with local historical societies to source items for charitable auctions and sponsoring nonprofit fundraisers tied to cultural preservation. At a spring gala in Pasadena, she auctioned a set of 1950s diner stools to benefit a local museum restoration project, melding her flair for storytelling with a genuine passion for heritage. That authenticity resonated. Attendees eagerly snapped up tickets to her masterclass on mid-century modern design, and corporate sponsors lined up to support future philanthropic events. Meanwhile, Jarrod deepened relationships within the collector ecosystem, forging alliances with niche forums, classic motorcycle devotees, retro arcade aficionados, and vintage camera enthusiasts. His pop-up auctions began featuring cross-promotional tie-ins, classic car club meet-ups, vinyl swap fairs, and cinephile film screenings. With each specialized event, the brand expanded its reach, attracting consignors and buyers who might never have tuned into a reality TV show. The couple's shared vision, melding entertainment, commerce, and community, crystallized into a robust multi-channel platform. In the midst of this growth, whispers circulated among industry observers: could Storage Wars ever lure Brandi back? Would A&E bite at her reunion special or guest judge appearance? Brandi handled such speculation with thoughtful ambiguity, acknowledging her gratitude for the show's role in her journey, while reiterating her commitment to own it auctions. "I'll always cherish those locker-busting moments," she told a podcast host, "but right now, my passion is building something that lasts beyond a 22-minute episode." Jarrod echoed her sentiment in trade interviews. "We're writing our own script, and it's a story of evolution, not nostalgia." As Section 3 draws to a close, Brandi and Jarrod's blueprint emerges. A dynamic duo able to pivot from unscripted TV fame to sustainable entrepreneurial success without losing the camaraderie that endeared them to millions. Their strategic exit reshaped personal and professional landscapes, demonstrating how reality show alumni can chart second acts that honor their roots while embracing new horizons. Brandi and Jarrod watched as industry peers took note of their pivot from reality television personalities to full-fledged entrepreneurs. In trade journals and on auction industry panels, the duo was heralded for pioneering a model that blended livestream drama with professional curation. Competitors scrambled to adapt. Traditional auction houses launched flashy on-screen hosts, startups tried to emulate Brandi's signature storytelling, and tech vendors rolled out reality integration packages for livestream events. Yet despite the imitators, none matched the authenticity of Own It auctions, where Brandi's deep knowledge of collectible markets and her genuine rapport with consignors created a competitive moat. The couple's approach set a new benchmark for turning transient fame into sustainable revenue. In parallel with their outward success, Brandi and Jarrod began mentoring other reality stars seeking their own second acts. They hosted a closed-door workshop at a major auction expo, inviting cast members from shows like Auction Hunters and Pawn Stars to share lessons on branding, audience analysis, and risk management. Brandi demystified the process of valuing obscure items, demonstrating how to calculate insurance reserves and leverage rarity to drive bidding wars. Jarrod walked attendees through operational best practices, from site selection to logistics planning. Attendees left with signed certificates and actionable blueprints for launching their own ventures, creating a ripple effect of entrepreneurial ambition across the genre. Their influence even reached the producers of Storage Wars. A four-way meeting in mid-2021 brought Brandi, Jarrod, A&E executives, and third-party producers together to explore potential collaborations. Proposals included a hybrid special that would interweave archival Storage Wars footage with live auction segments hosted at the Own It warehouse. Another creative pitch envisioned a mentorship segment within the main show, where Brandi and Jarrod would coach emerging bidders in real time. Although budget constraints and scheduling challenges prevented an immediate green light, the discussions signaled mutual respect and recognition of the duo's market shrewdness. On the digital front, Brandi leveraged her expanding network to secure lucrative brand partnerships. She became a spokesperson for an antique insurance aggregator, collaborating on a series of instructional videos that taught sellers how to protect high-value assets. Sponsors vetted her carefully, eager to align with her integrity and audience trust. Additionally, live-stream sponsorships with major e-commerce platforms allowed seamless checkout experiences for viewers, with real-time notifications when interest peaked. These integrations generated high CPMs and reinforced the narrative that Brandi's brand transcended any single television format. Meanwhile, Jarrod channeled his expertise into speaking engagements and consultancy. He co-authored an industry white paper on the future of online auctions, predicting trends in virtual reality previews and blockchain-backed authentication for rare collectibles. His insights were cited by analysts forecasting a multi-billion-dollar shift toward hybrid auction models that combine live action with digital reach. Jarrod's academic credibility grew as he lectured at business schools and contributed chapters to books on media-driven entrepreneurship. Together, the couple represented the intersection of practical know-how and scholarly perspective. Despite these high-profile endeavors, Brandi and Jarrod remained true to their roots. They continued hosting intimate Locker Lab events for superfans, inviting small groups to test, drive units, and offering behind-the-scenes peeks at valuation techniques. These low-key gatherings reinforced the personal connections that had originally fueled their authenticity. Attendees would arrive as spectators and depart as brand ambassadors, often posting enthusiastic testimonials that drove thousands of new subscribers to their online channels. Looking ahead, Brandi and Jarrod are plotting a multi-city roadshow, a traveling auction experience that blends Storage Wars nostalgia with the sleek production values of Own It auctions. Concepts under discussion include pop-up lockeroo, installations in art galleries, partnerships with hip cultural festivals for themed sales, and guest appearances by fellow Storage Wars alumni. They envision a blockbuster launch in New York City, complete with a live concert, on-site bidding consoles, augmented reality tie-ins that let bidders unlock digital collectibles as part of the show. If successful, this venture would further erode the boundaries between television spectacle and immersive live commerce. Beyond roadshows and pop-ups, the couple explores licensing a proprietary streaming channel for auction culture. Plans feature original docuseries, instructional shorts, and interactive bidding games that recreate locker hunting excitement. These digital expansions aim to insulate Own It auctions from traditional TV cycles, expanding its brand footprint and funding future innovations. As Section 4 concludes, it becomes clear that Brandi's departure from Storage Wars was not an ending but an inflection point. By embracing entrepreneurship, forging new alliances, and continuously innovating, she and Jarrod have redefined what it means to leverage reality TV experience. Their journey illustrates how staying ahead of market demands and nurturing genuine relationships can transform ephemeral fame into a lasting enterprise. After 4 transformative years, Brandi Passante looks back on her departure from Storage Wars not with regret but with gratitude. She describes the moment she signed her final A&E contract amendment as a pivot point, a chance to apply her innate auction instincts to building a company that mirrored her dreams. Her daily routine now begins before dawn, not to catch a bus to reality crew calls, but to review overnight digital bidding data across global time zones. By mid-morning, she's curating items, liaising personally with consignors to negotiate consignment agreements and piece together provenance details. In the afternoons, she teaches masterclass webinars, guiding enthusiasts through the nuances of state appraisal guidelines and fair market evaluation. Evenings are reserved for writing her memoir, tentatively titled Unlock: Lessons from a Life of Bidding and Building. Brandi's journey eventually extended far beyond auction floors and personal enterprise, evolving into a mission to mentor emerging female entrepreneurs across the vintage resale community. In 2022, she launched the Unlocked You Fellowship Program, offering a 6-week online cohort that pairs participants with seasoned industry advisors, live feedback sessions, and a small grants pool to underwrite initial inventory purchases. The initiative attracted over 200 applications in its first year, with fellows reporting a 300% uptick in sales volume and sustainable growth metrics within 6 months of completion. Partners like Etsy, Shopify, and local entrepreneurial nonprofits contributed resources and platform integrations, amplifying the fellowship's reach to marginalized communities. Brandi personally conducts several hands-on workshops each cohort, covering advanced valuation techniques, digital marketing strategies, and legal compliance around interstate shipping regulations. Her candid approach has resonated, forging a network where new sellers can refine their business acumen without fearing setbacks. By championing equitability and transparency, she redefined the archetype of reality star turned mentor. While her professional endeavors flourished, Brandi never lost sight of her personal roots, nurturing friendships forged during countless Storage Wars road trips. She and Jarrod invested weekends remodeling their mid-century ranch home, installing a custom bar lined with repurposed auction finds and walls adorned with framed locker keys from the show. Those relics served as daily reminders of how shared experiences truly shape their vision. In the spring of 2023, Brandi surprised fans by attending the Storage Wars 10th Anniversary Gala in San Antonio, donning a vintage sequin jacket reminiscent of early seasons. She received a standing ovation when she delivered a heartfelt speech about gratitude and growth, without committing to a permanent return. Moment underscored complexity of leaving a lifelong stage behind. Brandi embraced nostalgia without surrendering her newfound autonomy. Her words resonated with viewers who understood that stepping away did not imply abandoning one's legacy, but rather making space for future chapters defined by self-direction and creative freedom. In parallel, Brandi has continued to innovate inside the digital arena, partnering with tech startups to integrate augmented reality previews into her livestream auctions. Early in 2024, she announced a pilot program with a virtual showroom app, enabling bidders to walk around high-ticket items in 3D before placing live bids. The feature generated buzz at the Consumer Electronics Show, where she presented a keynote detailing how AR can enhance trust and reduce return rates. She also spearheaded a branded podcast series, Locked In Live, featuring interviews with veteran collectors, designers, and cultural historians. Episodes delve into the provenance of unique pieces, market fluctuations, and the emotional stories behind treasures recovered from forgotten storage units. Subscribers download each episode to unlock exclusive behind-the-scenes content, including valuation breakdowns and negotiation debriefs. By cultivating a multimedia ecosystem spanning video, audio, and interactive tech, Brandi has transcended the limitations of traditional reality programming, creating a dynamic community where education, entertainment, and commerce intersect. She launched a premium membership. Today, Brandi measures success not by TV ratings but by lasting impact. Her online community has expanded to over 500 Zalosm subscribers across social platforms, while her cash and carry charity auctions donate a portion of proceeds to local food banks and women's shelter initiatives. She remains an active voice on industry coalitions working to standardize fair trade guidelines for secondhand goods and transparent fee structures across auction sites. In her spare moments, she mentors young students through virtual internships, reviewing their mock appraisals and offering career advice. The duo's children, now teenagers, enjoy occasional behind-the-scenes tours of the warehouse, sparking in them an appreciation for entrepreneurship and history. Brandi believes their story, transitioning from unscripted reality to intentional enterprise, offers a template for those unsure how to translate fleeting moments of fame into enduring contributions. As she continues to close deals and open new doors, she always carries the lessons of every bid, every partnership, and every friendship forged along the way. In the years since stepping out of the Storage Wars spotlight, Brandi Passante has embraced a philosophy of intentional growth, proving that charting your own path can yield even richer rewards than sudden fame. She's learned that success lies not in fleeting screen time, but in the relationships you build, the expertise you share, and the innovations you champion. Today, she balances her roles as auctioneer, mentor, and advocate with a steady grace, moving between live-hosted sales, educational initiatives, and philanthropic projects. Each morning brings a fresh challenge, whether refining an augmented reality feature for her virtual showroom or reviewing fellowship applications for Unlocked You. Yet she greets every task with the same sharp focus and good humor that once lit up cable television. Despite her full calendar, Brandi still carves out moments to reconnect with the show that launched her career. In late 2024, she recorded a guest segment for a Storage Wars anniversary special, joining Jarrod Schulz on the lot to revisit their first auction unit. The reunion was lovingly crafted vintage unit door swinging open to reveal a trove of neon signs and vinyl records, Brandi's trademark smirk when a rival bidder overreached, and a shared wink between partners that spoke volumes. Though the network billed it as Brandi's one-day return, it felt like a bridge between past and present. An acknowledgement that while her story has evolved, the roots remain deep. Fans flooded social media with appreciation clips, proving that her legacy still resonates. Looking ahead, Brandi and Jarrod are in talks to co-host a limited-run spin-off series that would spotlight their own auctions model in untapped markets. Tentative plans include episodes filmed in New Orleans and Savannah, pairing local historians with the auction team to uncover storied estates and heirloom collections. Unlike the frenetic pace of Storage Wars, this show aims for a contemplative ton-rich B-roll of antique mansions, interviews with longtime collectors, and in-depth appraisals filmed against candlelit backdrops. The concept has network executives intrigued, but Brandi insists on maintaining editorial control to ensure authenticity. If the series launches, it will be credited not as a return to reality gimmicks, but as a natural extension of the brand she painstakingly built. Meanwhile, her philanthropic work continues to flourish. In the spring of 2025, the Brandi Passante Foundation awarded its first round of rural microgrants to help budding auctioneers in underserved areas purchase initial inventory and basic equipment. Brandi personally underwrote several of these awards, drawing on profits from her warehouse to webcasts events. She has also partnered with the Smithsonian's Office of Folklife to preserve oral histories of Southern craftspeople, documenting handmade processes from cabinet making to letterpress printing. By connecting her auction platform with cultural preservation, Brandi underscores the deeper value of each item she sells, not merely as a commodity, but as a vessel of history and community memory. Her impact on the broader reality TV ecosystem is equally significant. Industry insiders now cite Brandi's trajectory as a blueprint for cast members who wish to parlay on-camera exposure into sustainable enterprises. Trade articles reference the Passante method, a three-step approach of skill cultivation, brand diversification, and direct audience engagement when profiling reality stars across genres. Podcast hosts ask her to share insights on contract negotiation, audience analytics, and the fine art of personal rebranding. By modeling a path that doesn't rely on perpetual television appearances, Brandi has helped redefine success metrics for unscripted personalities. As Section 6 draws to a close, Brandi's journey offers one overarching lesson: real empowerment comes from embracing your strengths and investing in your future, even when that means closing one chapter to open another. Her story affirms that stepping away from the glare of cameras can illuminate new possibilities, ones you might never have imagined while chasing the next episode. She remains ever grateful to Storage Wars for giving her a platform, yet she has moved beyond labels and playlists to shape an identity that transcends any single show. In interviews, she often pauses before answering, choosing words that reflect both her humility and the quiet confidence born of hard-won experience. In every auction echo and every fellowship success story, Brandi Passante's spirit endures, curious, courageous, and unafraid to unlock doors most people don't even know exist. Whether she's teaching a rookie bidder to spot a hidden hallmark or guiding a consortium of collectors through ethical sourcing, she carries forward the lessons of her past while inspiring a new generation of entrepreneurs. And though the locker doors may have closed, the possibilities she's opened remain wide, waiting for anyone brave enough to bid.